Hey, my name is Clayton, and on behalf of Operation Rock, I ask you to support our fight against racism in law enforcement and unethical and unjust prosecution. I, Clayton Howard, myself, am a victim of domestic violence who was falsely arrested on Staten Island by the 120 precinct in conjunction with the Staten Island District Attorney Office for allegedly harassing and stalking an ex girlfriend. This would not normally have been an issue as men do commit crimes against beautiful women all the time. My situation, however, was quite different. You see, my offender filed a report on me on December 5th, but December 1st of that very same year, 4 days prior to her report, I had won what was called a final restraining order against her with complete stay away conditions for the remainder of her life. This is what is called a New Jersey FRO. Now, my offender, angry and completely out of her mind, obsessed with vengeance because this order of protection had been placed on her. What she did was unleash a wave of litigation abuse on me by filing continuous malicious litigation against me. 4 days after her conviction in New Jersey, she goes to the borough of Staten Island and she files charges on me alleging that the charges she was just convicted of were false. Staten Island has been racist my entire life living there. I do not live there anymore, but they are an incredibly, historically racist borough. In its infinite wisdom, the Richmond County District Attorney's Office, even though they knew that this woman had just been convicted of harassment and burglary, decided that I, the dark skinned black offender, was far more attractive than this beautiful light skinned minority woman. So what these gentlemen did was they followed the agenda which society has now, which is to depower black men and empower black women, and they falsely arrested me, even though they knew that I was the legitimate legal victim of a trial issued New Jersey state final order of protection 4 days prior to this woman's complaint. They arrested me, they prosecuted me, they made me go through almost a year of my life until a transcript with the decision and the entire record of what was decided during that trial for the order of protection revealed that this woman had lied through her teeth to the Richmond County District Attorney's Office. Now, one would think that considering they had violated my victim rights so horribly that they would apologize, but people, that takes integrity and character that none of the attorneys in this office have. So what they did was quietly try to adjudicate what do you call it? Give me an adjudicated conditional discharge with immediate dismissal terms and no access to no order of protection, no consequence at all. This is what that office is prone to do when they don't want to dismiss the charge so it doesn't mess up their prosecutorial record. However, even though they knew this woman lied on me, Staten Island has refused to charge this woman with any false reporting or any of the harassment I have suffered for over a year. Staten Island actually honored this woman last year in April as Staten Island's Victims' Right Victims of the Week, even though they knew at that time both the Richmond County DA's office, Safe Horizon, the largest domestic violence agency in the country, and an NYPD knew for it my ex-girlfriend had recently been convicted and I was completely innocent. But ladies and gentlemen, again, this young woman was far more marketable than me. So racism and bigotry won, and they tried to prosecute me off the lies of a convicted offender. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have suffered thousands of dollars in litigation abuse at the hands of this woman who will not leave me alone. Most recently, she was able to obtain the medical diagnosis from my estranged father, who I have not spoken to in over 5 years, to falsely accuse me of a medical condition that he unfortunately suffers from. Ladies and gentlemen, despite hard and 100% verifiable proof that this woman committed these crimes yesterday, her case was dismissed and sealed due to the protection she is receiving from the Staten Island District Attorney's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, racism within the community of Staten Island has been a problem for forever. And it is time that we stand together truthfully and strongly to fight racism within police and law enforcement agencies like Staten Island. Staten Island is not the only place this happens. This happens to men and women throughout the country all the time. And ladies and gentlemen, we at Operation Rock wish to fight this. We ask that you support this GoFundMe with $1, with 50 cents, whatever you feel is appropriate, people, because it takes a village to raise a child, just like it takes an army to win a war. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a war. These people hide behind the magnificence and the magnitude of their office, making themselves seem like they're ethical and just, when the truth is they're closet racist and incredibly unethical and ambitious. I was prosecuted when the Richmond County District Attorney's Office knew I was innocent. And that's not the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, I was prosecuted for allegedly stealing the car of the Staten Island mother of Eric Garner, the slain victim of the NYPD, who used her connections now that her son had been murdered by the very same police precinct she went to lie on me and an innocent man and have us arrested. Now, me and this man went through the motions, and people, unfortunately, during this process, my mom dropped dead. So the Richmond County District Attorney, Michael McMahon, who actually knew my mother, what his plan was to wait me out because he knew I was in a horrible pit of grief over my mother, therefore forcing me on another ACD because people my mother had died. I just wanted the situation over. However, Staten Island had evidence that me and this gentleman had paid Gwendolyn Carr over $2,000 and prosecuted us for 2 years and never dropped the case. Gwendolyn Carr wrote a false report stating that she had loaned this car to gentlemen she did not know and had never received any money. I had text messages, Cash App receipts and Zelle receipts, all to prove that Gwendolyn Carr had gotten paid. But despite that, the racist district attorney's office that is controlled by Michael McMahon refused to exonerate two innocent black men. People, this is a serious problem when there is such proof that can exonerate innocence that the district attorney's office chooses to ignore or hide it to continue to prosecute someone because of their ethnicity. And Staten Island has done this forever. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't choose to lay down anymore. I was falsely accused of rape and robbery and all types of horrible offenses by Francina Evans. She has been supported by a family with a brother who is on tape admitting that he knows she lied because she confessed to him. Yet an entire community of law enforcement will not arrest this woman, even though the NYPD is currently being sued for millions of dollars by her. Ladies and gentlemen, law enforcement, corruption within communities like Staten Island is not uncommon. And maybe together we can create a national organization that starts with the fight in Staten Island. We can stop what happens to people like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and men like myself who happen to be the unfortunate victims of obsessed women who abuse domestic violence law to stalk, harass, and get vengeance on them. People, my ex girlfriend has attacked my child. She's attacked my reputation. She's attacked my peace. She's attacked my safety. And despite all of the evidence I have, the racist district attorney's office of Staten Island will not prosecute this woman. Again, audience, there are multiple reports in for false arrest this woman had effectuated on me, that there are actually active lawsuits in against the NYPD right now that the Richmond County DA's office still will not prosecute Francina Evans. Ladies and gentlemen, through advocacy, through fighting, and through litigation, we will get them to prosecute this woman. She is unjust. She is a pathological liar. And ladies and gentlemen, she needs to be stopped because she is the problem with domestic violence. Women like her who utilize law enforcement to get revenge on men who don't want them anymore. Domestic violence is real. Women are killed and abused every day, yet women like Francina Evans are allowed to go unscathed by wasting resources that can defend the lives of women who really need it. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in Operation Rock stop Francina Evans. Help us stop the racism that is on Staten Island between the NYPD and Staten Island's very own Michael McMahon. Help us to stop the corruption and the bigotry through men like Pastor Victor Brown of Mount Sinai Church, who knew this young woman was lying. But simply because I happen to be the son of his mentor who knew he was a wife cheater and a thief, he tried to destroy me with this young woman. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired, but I have stood up and decided to fight these men. I'm not afraid of this office, and I'm not afraid of the corruption that they have behind them. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is the ultimate weapon, and these people don't have the truth. This is why I've been arrested multiple times, that but can sit here before you with no current active criminal prosecution and multiple dismissals and can tell you the truth, is that this has been a lie. My offender was definitively convicted for harassment and burglary, and there is no way that I should have to suffer the continued harassments and violations to my peace because she happens to be a pretty woman who some unethical and incredibly unjust prosecutors are sexually attracted to and feel is a more marketable victim than me. I'm a black man with rights, and today I choose to utilize those rights and those personal freedoms to ask people in my community and that throughout the country at large to support the fight against racism within my community, that hopefully I can take this program out to other places and we can fight racism and injustice there also. On behalf of Operation Rock, people, help me stop injustice and help me stop the relentless assault that has been placed on me by Francina Evans and the Staten Island District Attorney's Office, who has set me up on multiple false arrests and prosecution, all of which have been dismissed and all of which are currently in a state of active litigation against the NYPD. The District Attorney's Office hides behind the NYPD, but we can't let them, people. There's something called prosecutorial immunity, but there's a way to break it. and I intend to break it. People, help me get justice against Staten Island. On behalf of Operation Rock, thank you, and have a